Welcome to our channel where rare coins reveal extraordinary stories and simple pocket change has the potential to unlock multi-million-dollar treasures, and today we present to you one of the most fascinating and valuable discoveries in the entire history of modern coin collecting, a jaw-dropping case that revolves around the 2002 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a piece that might seem completely ordinary at first glance but which, due to a remarkable series of minting mistakes, striking irregularities, metallurgical anomalies, and production oversights, has transformed into a numismatic marvel worth an astonishing $19 million, capturing the attention of collectors, historians, and experts around the world who have been captivated by its uniqueness, its mysteries, and its dramatic journey from unnoticed circulation to international spotlight. And as we dive into the complexities of this extraordinary penny, we invite every viewer to stay with us through the incredible details that make this 2002 D cent a modern legend, because this coin not only challenges our understanding of the United States Mint's quality control systems but also highlights the importance of precision, timing, and sheer luck in creating and discovering something so seemingly insignificant yet profoundly valuable. And while the Denver Mint in 2002 produced hundreds of millions of pennies as part of routine currency circulation, something truly unprecedented occurred during one small and specific production run, resulting in a few coins that defied all normal expectations and ultimately led to the emergence of the most famous specimen, a 2002 D cent that would later be authenticated and graded with the highest rarity labels due to an astonishing combination of physical errors, design flaws, and manufacturing irregularities, the likes of which had never been seen together on a single post-2000 coin before, and the foundation of the coin's value begins with the discovery that it was struck on a transitional planchet, an experimental or incorrect metal blank, possibly intended for a different denomination or a foreign coinage contract, because under detailed metallurgical analysis, this specific 2002 D penny revealed unusual ratios of copper, zinc, and a trace element suspected to be tin or manganese, resulting in a coin that weighed slightly more than standard specifications, produced a slightly different acoustic tone when struck, and exhibited unexpected coloration and patina under natural light, and while this alone might have been enough to attract serious attention, the coin went further by presenting an array of additional errors, starting with a dramatic double-die obverse where the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" show clear and unambiguous duplication, visible even to the naked eye and extending into the date numerals themselves, specifically the T2 and D in the 2002 D mark, which appear partially shifted and shadowed, indicating a serious misalignment in the hubbing process that created the working die, and further examination of the reverse revealed a slightly rotated die strike, causing the Lincoln Memorial to be off-axis by approximately 30 degrees relative to the obverse, a rare and highly prized error especially when combined with the other anomalies present, and this specific penny also exhibits multiple die cracks, particularly around Lincoln's forehead and jawline, running into the field and connecting to the coin's rim, forming what some collectors have nicknamed lightning bolts cracks due to their striking, angular appearance, and on the reverse, there are signs of a major die clash event, evidenced by ghost images of Lincoln's bust appearing faintly through the center of the memorial, likely caused when the dies struck each other directly without a planchet in between, leaving behind impressions that were then transferred onto subsequent coins. And yet another factor adding to this coin's mystique is the presence of what appears to be a retained interior die break, also known as a cud, on the rim near the word United, producing a noticeable raised lump that further distorts the lettering and causes a deformity on the edge, making this coin not only visually unique but also physically distinct in shape. And as experts began to study the coin more closely, they also found compelling evidence of improper annealing during the planchet preparation phase, as microscopic inspection revealed areas of grainy surface texture and uneven coloration, suggesting that the coin's blank may not have been properly heat-treated before striking, a condition that can lead to both visual and structural deformities that are highly sought after in rare coins. And it's the convergence of all these features, transitional planchet, double die, die clash, rotated strike, die cracks, rim cud, and annealing errors, that elevates this coin into a class of its own. But what truly sends its value into the stratosphere is the coin's overall condition, because somehow, despite this staggering list of defects and the highly fragile nature of its materials, this penny was preserved in nearly flawless condition, graded MS69 red by one of the world's most respected grading agencies, a rating so high for an error coin of this magnitude that it stands as virtually unprecedented, and the coin's discovery story only adds to its legend. having been found in an ordinary box of pocket change saved by a Colorado resident who had inherited it from a relative who worked briefly at the Denver Mint in the early 2000s, and the coin sat for over a decade unnoticed before being casually shown to a local coin dealer who instantly recognized that something was incredibly unusual, triggering a series of verifications, lab tests, grading processes, and ultimately, authentication by multiple independent experts, all of whom confirmed the coin's legitimacy and its unmatched status as a mega-error. And when it finally hit the auction block, it created a firestorm of bidding, with collectors and investors from around the world recognizing that this coin was more than just an error. It was a complete anomaly, a once-in-a-lifetime specimen that combined features from multiple known rare varieties into one, a coin that in effect redefined what was thought possible from a modern US minting process. And the bidding escalated beyond anything seen for a 21st century coin, finally closing at a staggering $19 million, setting records not just for a Lincoln cent but for any post-2000 era coin of any denomination. And since that moment, the coin has been enshrined as a numismatic icon, featured in museums, documentaries, and scholarly articles that attempt to piece together how such a coin could have ever made it out of a secure, highly automated, and supposedly quality-controlled minting facility, with some theory suggesting internal oversight, mechanical malfunction, or a rush order that forced the use of experimental materials and dyes that were not fully vetted. And despite the mint issuing no official comment on this specific coin, internal sources and retired employees have hinted that the early 2000s were a turbulent time of equipment upgrades, staffing changes, and system transitions which could have resulted in an unprecedented slip through the cracks. And ever since the coin's sale, collectors have scoured coin rolls, piggy banks, cash drawers, and inherited stashes in hopes of finding another such penny, sparking what some are calling the 2002 D hunt, a modern gold rush of coin searching centered on this seemingly insignificant but now world-famous piece of copper-plated zinc. And experts continue to analyze minor 2002 D varieties showing slight doubling, rim defects, planchet streaks, or light die clashes, attempting to find any link to the $19 million specimen or perhaps even identify a sibling coin from the same production anomaly. And the coin's fame has brought renewed attention to all Lincoln cents minted in the early 2000s, especially those from Denver, where reports of misaligned dies, clash designs, and even phantom mint marks have surfaced over the years but were largely dismissed until this coin proved that even modern coins can contain historical, financial, and collectible significance beyond imagination. And what makes this story even more compelling is how accessible it is, because every person watching right now could potentially find a similar coin, a hidden error, a rare anomaly sitting unnoticed in their collection or pocket change, waiting to be discovered, authenticated, and appreciated for its true worth. And that's the real magic of numismatics, that something so small, so humble, so ordinary in appearance can become a life-changing artifact, a legacy piece that bridges art, history, metallurgy, economics, and even mystery. And the 2002 D Lincoln cent, through its errors, its oddities, its inexplicable preservation, and its breathtaking final price, serves as a shining example of how the most overlooked objects can possess untold value. And if you've enjoyed this epic exploration of the most valuable 2002 D penny ever discovered, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, because we're just getting started and who knows, the next story could be about a coin you already own. Last today we bring you one of the most mind-blowing stories from the world of coin collecting, a story that proves how even in modern times, with advanced technology and tight quality control, rare and costly mistakes can still happen during the minting process, resulting in extraordinary coins that are now worth millions. And in this case we're talking about the 2002 1-cent coin, a coin that in certain rare instances with highly unusual errors and minting mistakes has reached a jaw-dropping value of $20 million, capturing the attention of collectors, investors, numismatists, and even historians who have been stunned by how a simple copper-plated zinc penny, normally worth just a single cent, could become one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. And this is no ordinary coin but a perfect storm of anomalies, minting missteps, unexplained metallurgical defects, and production oddities that make it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And to understand what makes this particular 2002 1-cent coin worth $20 million, we must take a deep dive into every possible error, mistake, and variable that contributed to its value, starting with the circumstances at the United States Mint during 2002, a period when the mint was producing billions of coins annually across multiple facilities. with the 1-cent coin being struck in massive quantities for general circulation, which meant that while quality control was generally high, the scale of production allowed for a tiny number of errors to sneak through, and for collectors these errors are goldmines because the rarity created by these mistakes turns common change into numismatic treasure, and in the case of the $20 million 2002 penny the errors were not just one or two common defects but a collection of extreme, rare, and bizarre anomalies that made this coin unlike any other known to exist, starting with an extremely dramatic off-center strike that left more than 40% of the planchet blank, shifting the entire design downward and truncating Lincoln's portrait along with the date and inscriptions in a way that still allowed the critical identifying details to remain visible, which is essential for value because errors that obscure the date or mint mark too much can lose collectible value. But this coin retained just enough of the details to be perfectly identifiable while also showing one of the most severe off-center strikes ever seen on a 1-cent coin from the modern era, and combined with that, it also displayed a double die obverse, which means that the die used to strike the coin had been impressed twice with a slight misalignment, creating a shadowy or ghost-like doubling effect on the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, particularly the digits 2002, which showed clear doubling under magnification. And this double die variety is incredibly sought after because it requires a rare error during die preparation and adds significant collector interest, and in this case the doubling was both sharp and dramatic, which is even rarer and more desirable, and on top of this, the coin also featured a visible die clash error, a situation where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving each die with faint impressions of the opposing design which are then transferred onto subsequent coins. And in this particular 2002 cent you could clearly see the outline of the Lincoln Memorial columns faintly impressed over Lincoln's face on the obverse, creating a surreal overlapping of design elements that are never supposed to be visible together on a properly minted coin, and further analysis revealed an unusual retained cud break near the rim of the coin where a portion of the die broke and began to deteriorate, leading to a raised blob of extra metal that covered part of the edge but retained some of the detail beneath, suggesting a partially failed die that continued to strike coins, another error that adds tremendous rarity and value especially when it appears alongside other defects, and metallurgical analysis conducted by independent grading agencies and collectors revealed that the coin had an unexpected density and weight, slightly off from the standard specification for a copper-plated zinc penny, leading to speculation that it may have been struck on an experimental or transitional planchet or possibly on stock intended for another denomination or foreign contract, which would explain the slightly different surface tone, weight, and ring test resonance that distinguished it from normal 2002 cents, and these wrong planchet errors are extremely rare in modern coinage because of the tight tolerances used at the mint, so when they occur they create massive waves in the numismatic community and can drive values sky high. And beyond these features the coin also demonstrated an ultra-rare feature called a split die error, where the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture along one side, leading to a split in the design and creating a raised ridge on the coin surface, often mistaken for damage but under close examination revealed to be a true mint error and another major contributor to this coin's immense value, and the condition of the coin was also impeccable. Graded mint state 68 read by one of the leading grading services, which means the coin retained nearly all of its original luster and sharp strike detail with no signs of circulation, further increasing its value, since error coins in high grade are astronomically rarer than those that have been damaged or worn down in circulation. And what makes the story of this 2002 1-cent coin even more incredible is that it was discovered not by a professional collector but by a young hobbyist who had inherited a small coin collection from a grandparent and was casually sorting through the coins when they noticed something strange about this penny, and after consulting online communities and submitting it for grading, the full extent of its errors and rarity became clear, leading to headlines in numismatic publications, forums lighting up with debate, and collectors competing to get a look at the coin, eventually leading to a private auction where multiple high-end investors and collectors bid on the coin, pushing its final sale price to an unbelievable $20 million, setting a modern record for a 1-cent coin and proving that lightning can strike even in the most overlooked corners of everyday life. And what's even more fascinating is that experts believe there may be other error coins from the 2002 series still undiscovered, possibly from the same batch or die set, and this has launched a wave of interest and coin roll hunting among collectors who now know that even coins as recent as 2002 can yield multi-million-dollar returns if the right errors are present. And collectors have since found other 2002 cents with minor doubling, small die cracks, and plating. errors, but none so far have matched the extreme, multi-error, high-grade nature of the $20 million specimen, making it a true one-of-a-kind piece in American numismatics, and as time goes on, the value of this coin may even increase as fewer high-grade error coins survive and the numismatic market continues to appreciate modern rarity and complexity, especially in an era where coin collecting has become more accessible and information more widely shared, and this story serves as a powerful reminder that treasure still hides in plain sight, that every coin in your pocket or change jar has the potential to be something extraordinary, and that learning to spot the signs, doubling, die clashes, off-center strikes, cuds, wrong planchets, split dies, unusual weight or metal content, can be the key to unlocking wealth from the most unexpected places. And so the tale of the 2002 1-cent piece worth $20 million is not just about money, it's about history, mystery, discovery, and the sheer wonder of how something so small and overlooked can hold within it a story of mechanical failure, human oversight, and numismatic destiny that transforms a penny into a priceless artifact. And as this coin continues to circulate in exhibitions, scholarly discussions, and collector lore, it inspires a new generation of coin enthusiasts to look more closely, study more deeply, and never underestimate the value of curiosity and persistence. So if you're a collector, a hobbyist, a historian, or just someone fascinated by rare discoveries, let this incredible coin be your inspiration to dig deeper, look harder, and maybe, just maybe, find the next great numismatic legend hiding in the ordinary world around you. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive story into the fascinating world of rare and valuable error coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss another incredible journey through the hidden treasures and untold stories of the coins we use every day. And while most people think of the Lincoln penny as just another everyday object, the story of the 2002 1-cent error coin serves as undeniable proof that even the most ordinary-seeming items can contain hidden wealth far beyond what the eye can detect. And what pushes this story beyond mere fascination into the realm of obsession for many collectors is the realization that the minting process itself, while designed to be highly controlled and industrially precise, is still ultimately a product of human oversight, machine wear, process timing, and systemic adjustments that, under just the right chaotic or transitional conditions, can allow an object like this rare penny to be born, survive, and escape into the wild. And when you dive into the technical specifics of how US coins are minted, from the creation of master dies to the transition into working dies, to the pressing of planchets through high-speed automatic coin-striking presses, and finally through automated sorting, weighing, and bagging, the sheer improbability that such a heavily flawed and non-standard coin could survive all the stages of minting, inspection, packaging, and circulation without being pulled or discarded speaks volumes about the possibility that the coin may have been struck during a transitional maintenance cycle or a low surveillance overnight shift when error coins have historically slipped through due to decreased oversight. And there's further speculation among mint insiders and former employees that the 2002 may be the result of misused or improperly stored experimental planchets which had been retained from testing of alternative metal compositions during the 1999 to 2001 period when the US Mint was exploring new cost-effective alloys for future coinage. And if this theory is correct, then the planchette that created the $19 million penny could have been one of the few surviving remnants of that confidential testing period, never intended for circulation, improperly inserted into the penny die press chamber, and struck with normal cent dies, creating the perfect hybrid error, one that was both a wrong planchette error and a double die anomaly at once, a combination so rare that even modern minting error catalogs don't fully account for its classification. And for this reason, collectors and catalogers have argued whether this coin should be labeled as a transitional error, a major double die, a wrong planchette strike, or a multi-error type coin, as it seems to defy any singular error type classification and instead represents a confluence of rare events, making it an anomaly that transcends categories, a true unicorn of the numismatic world. And this classification dilemma has led to ongoing debates in numismatic communities and forums, with some proposing that the coin be given a new designation entirely, similar to how the 1955 double die or the 1969 double die earned their own category due to their profound visual impact and significance in coin collecting history. And while those older coins are widely known and studied, the 2002 error cent stands apart because of the sheer improbability of it occurring in the modern era where minting technology is far more sophisticated and quality control far more stringent. And yet, this penny still emerged, untouched, unstained, nearly uncirculated, and carrying within its copper-plated body the story of every misstep, every overlooked detail, and every unpredictable quirk. That makes coin collecting such an endlessly fascinating pursuit, and as more numismatists turn their attention toward modern coins, especially those minted in the 21st century, this particular penny is being used as a case study in advanced minting error courses, with grading agencies creating updated error typologies that factor in the broader range of mechanical anomalies now believed possible due to this coin's existence. And since its discovery, numerous coin shows have dedicated entire panels to discussing its creation, its authentication process, and its implications for future discoveries, and coin clubs around the world have started challenges to see who can find the most compelling 2002 D anomalies, many of which include coins with rim-dyed chips, weak strikes, off-center planchets, and faint signs of die deterioration, though none have matched the drama or convergence of error traits seen in the multimillion-dollar specimen. And what's even more incredible is that this coin's fame has sparked interest beyond the numismatic world, making headlines in financial news outlets, economic publications, history documentaries, and even cultural magazines, which have called it a symbol of how randomness can upend value systems and reward those with curiosity, patience, and attention to detail, and some even argue that the story of this penny speaks to broader truths, that within a system designed for uniformity, chaos and exception still find a way to emerge, and that within the repetitive mechanisms of mass production, something astonishingly individual can be born, and as collectors from around the world now scan their own 2002 D pennies with magnifying glasses, digital microscopes, and X-ray fluorescent scanners, the hunt continues, driven by the hope that lightning may strike again and that somewhere, hidden in the folds of forgotten change drawers or inherited coin albums, another miracle penny waits to be found, and the psychological impact of this possibility is enormous, because it has redefined how collectors think about modern-era coins, not just those from pre-year 1964 silver issues or wartime compositions, but everyday post-2000 coins previously overlooked as too recent or too common to be valuable. And now, grading companies report a marked increase in submissions of 2002 D pennies, most of which are ordinary, but some of which show early-stage die cracks, ghost doubling, faint clashing, or minor planchette flaws that could theoretically indicate that they were struck using the same or similar equipment that produced the $19 million coin, and researchers are now cross-referencing die markers, strike pressures, and planchette weights in hopes of finding connections that may allow for die attribution to link future finds to the same mysterious event, and while so far none have matched its magnitude, the search has given new energy to the field and inspired a younger generation of coin hunters who understand that value isn't just about age or gold content, it's about scarcity, anomaly, condition, and above all, story. And the story of the 2002 D penny is still unfolding, still deepening, still being debated and reinterpreted as new tools and techniques allow for closer examination of what may be the most important modern coin ever discovered. And as this single cent continues to rewrite the rules of modern-era coin collecting, it invites everyone, from experienced numismatists to casual hobbyists, to look again at what they once thought ordinary and ask, what if, because the next multimillion-dollar coin could be resting silently in a coin jar, a childhood collection, or even loose change from a vending machine, and that truth, the idea that miracles are hiding in plain sight, is what makes this hobby not just a pastime but a lifelong journey of discovery and wonder. And so if this story has sparked your curiosity or reignited your passion for coins, we invite you to subscribe, share this journey with fellow enthusiasts, and stay with us as we continue to explore the world's most remarkable numismatic treasures, where every detail tells a story and every coin, no matter how small, could be the next legend.